The Buffalo Bills worry me in this upcoming season in the NFL, especially given all the offseason news regarding Stefon Diggs, Josh Allen and their relationship, especially with their offensive coordinator. The fact that they don't even have a defensive coordinator. Like, what is this team doing, man? Outside of Stefon Diggs, this team's wide receiver room, let alone offense, is mediocre at best. Probably bottom 10, bottom 12 in the NFL if you remove Stefon Diggs from that mathematical equation that is the elite Buffalo Bills offense in the NFL. This offense relies on two players, Stefon Diggs, Josh Allen. Look at the numbers before Diggs, look at the numbers after Diggs, look at the success and potential this team has had since signing Stefon Diggs. The fact that Diggs and Allen and their offensive coordinator are in murky waters right now with their relationship should worry the hell out of you if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. Gabe Davis is an okay deep threat who only catches 51% of his targets and he goes invisible in half of the games. And Stefon Diggs is better at those deep routes anyway because he's just an overall way better route runner and receiver. And then you have Khalil Shakir, also only catches 50% of his targets, barely gets any playing time, even though you have Josh Allen, who is an elevator of talent around him. And then you have Dawson Knox, who is a solid tight end, but I think his name holds more weight than the performance on the field. He's good in the red zone, and he's just an okay tight end overall, but nothing to write home about. And then at the same time, you have James Cook, who is a highly efficient, good running back, but I just don't think he has the physical traits like his brother Dalvin to handle an RB1 workload in the NFL, hence why they sign all these bargain bin running backs like Latavius Murray and Damian Harris. But now let's look at the bright side of things. The Buffalo Bills defense. The Buffalo Bills defense is actually quite good. It's one of the better defenses in the NFL. As you can see here, a lot of their defensive stats are all very positive, and they've been missing stars on the defensive side of the ball pretty much every season the past few years. Outside of the disappointing postseason performance last year, the Buffalo Bills defense has been great and absolutely instrumental as to why this team has been winning so many games in the past few seasons. They still have their dynamic safety duo in Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, as well as their strong CB1 in Tre'Davious White, strong linebacker in Matt Milano, giving Ed Oliver a contract extension, a young edge rusher in Greg Rousseau, as well as the veteran, the leader on defense himself, Von Miller, to bring back some of that extra juice to the Bills' defense. And the best part so far is that the Bills actually addressed their depth issue that they had on defense. I think depth issues kind of plagued this team on defense the past couple of years, but now they have a few mercenaries. Taylor Rapp, one-year deal, safety depth. Shaq Lawson, pass rush defensive end depth, and then also Leonard Floyd, some more defensive end pass rush depth, all on team-friendly one-year deals. The only other spot on this Buffalo Bills defense I wish they had a little bit more help or depth at is corner, because outside of Tre'Davious White, I'm not sure if Kaiir Elam is ready to fill that CB2 role on this Bills defense yet, but he's still young, so maybe he can develop to be that CB2, and if not, maybe the Bills can make another trade or offseason move before the season starts. We're only in June, but I think it's very safe to say that this Buffalo Bills defense, as long as they can overcome the hurdle that is not having a true defensive coordinator and having their head coach fulfill defensive schemes and play calling, this defense will likely be a point of stability in this Buffalo Bills roster in a time where there's turmoil in the offseason. Unfortunately for Buffalo, you're not playing solitaire here. In the NFL, you're competing against teams, especially within your own division, week in and week out. And the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets are two teams that I actually think are quite threatening to the Buffalo Bills in this coming season. The Miami Dolphins, as long as Tua can, stay on his Tua feet. Alright, that was kind of lame, but you get the gist. If Tua can stay healthy, and you can't predict injuries, so you can't just assume he's going to get hurt again, the Miami Dolphins will be a real threat in the AFC, let alone the AFC East. And then you got the New York Jets, multiple-time MVP, Super Bowl champion, this, that, and the other thing, future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers got courted by the New York Jets players and coaching staff, and he has arrived in New York. And if Aaron Rodgers is on the other side of the field, he's one of the greatest throwers of the football of all time. That's just always concerning, especially for a team that could have a potential weakness at corner, as I alluded to earlier. So you have a threatening Miami team and New York Jets team who have been pushing the chips all in for the past few years now, trying to chase that Super Bowl. The Jets have plenty of young talent, hitting on seemingly every draft pick thanks to Joe Douglas doing a great job on that end. And then Miami shipping away pick after pick to get big name players like Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey. Of course, under Mike McDaniel, the offensive head coach, that has really let Tua blossom when he is on the field. And honestly, the New England Patriots, they're always a well-coached team. They're always pretty good on defense. But the Bills never really seem to struggle versus them, especially since they've had Josh Allen. So I'm not really worried about the Patriots this season for any of the other three AFC East teams. And the rest of the Buffalo Bills schedule doesn't really get much easier. I would say there's only really 3 games. I would say versus the Raiders, versus Washington and Tampa that I think are three non-competitive teams in this upcoming season in the NFL, while every other game you're versing a team that is a competitor or an in-division team, and that alone can be a little tricky for Buffalo. At this moment in time, in the middle of June in the offseason, the Buffalo Bills are currently projected to be a 10.5 over-under win total team. I think looking at metrics like this are actually a fair way to judge how good Vegas thinks a team will be. And you know what they say, Vegas always knows. I don't quite think they're in that 11.5 win total over-under range as a Kansas City, Cincinnati, or a Philly team would be, because I do think there is a little more uncertainty and less stability overall in Buffalo. And you can also see here just below them at the 9.5 win total range, still projected to be an over 500 team, Miami and New York, the two teams in division that I alluded to earlier who are potential threats to Buffalo, and just a lot of AFC teams in general here. The AFC is really tough, so even if you perform well within your division, you could still get sniped and lose some games by teams outside of your division, which can ultimately cost you winning the division, let alone making the playoffs as a wild card. But even with all that I just said, the Bills will probably still be fine. They'll probably still win 11 or so games. They'll probably still make the playoffs. They might win the division. As long as the Bills can mend that relationship between Stefon Diggs, Josh Allen, and the coaching staff, I really do think this team still has potential to be a competitor in the postseason. Josh Allen, I have been on the record saying he is a little bit overrated, but even an overrated Josh Allen is very easily a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I do think there are some quarterbacks in this league that could jump some of those top 5 spots in this coming season, but at this moment in time, Josh Allen is still one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL. He is Superman. The offense runs through him literally and figuratively, and he can do it all. He is an elevator of talent and overall a good quarterback with some flaws in the NFL. But Josh Allen can't do it alone. He needs help from Stefon Diggs and others in the offense to step it up. Because Josh Allen does have the potential to bring the Bills Mafia to the promised land. Or does he?